Alright, what up, kiddos? It's your favorite teacher here, Mr. K. And this is a long overdue video. This is the video that is a little sad. It's a little depressing, but it is something that's affected my life and has kind of transformed me to be, in some ways, a different person. What happened was, on December 7th, I had to say goodbye to a real true friend, a friend that in my life for 13 years, a friend that helped me start this YouTube channel in the first place. That friend is my dog Bruno. I was working at a custom wood shop when I first met Bruno. It was a co-worker's dog, and he ran right up to me and licked my hand and was wild-eyed and crazy, and I instantly fell in love with the dog. The co-worker, Chris, couldn't keep the dog. I think it was his cousin's dog, actually, but he couldn't keep the dog, and I was like, dude, if there is a issue with this dog finding a home, I don't care that I live in an apartment, that you're not supposed to have pets. I don't care that my girlfriend at the time, which is not my wife, had no idea about me making this decision. I didn't care all those logical things that should be taken in consideration, and that was all gone out of my brain. All the logical things was switched off, and I committed to Bruno, and back into the spring of 2007. And I'm not gonna say there wasn't a lot of ups and downs. He's a bit of a nipper. If you ask Mrs. K, she says he's a biter, I guess. But yeah, I fell in love with Bruno the minute I saw him, and I knew I was gonna take care of him the best I can. And luckily, Deborah, or Mrs. K, was on board at the time, and luckily my mom was on board at the time, even though she was a little hesitant, but she saw what I saw eventually. Everyone pretty much agreed to let Bruno into their lives, so I dropped my dog off, Bruno, at my mom's house during the work day, because we couldn't have a dog at the apartment, and that way we were able to avoid any kind of landlord pop-ups and barking incidences that would get us in trouble. So that worked out. Little inconvenience for me, but that's the sacrifice you make, you know. You wake up earlier, take Bruno to doggy daycare, then go to work day in, day out. And probably one of the best stories about Bruno, the most miraculous stories about Bruno. If someone told me this story, I would be hesitant on believing it. Bruno got hit by a semi-truck and no major internal damage was ever done. No broken bones, no nothing other than a road rash. I remember it was Good Friday and I was taking Bruno on a walk. I was walking in a park where there wasn't a whole lot of people, so I decided to let Bruno off the leash. And I walked around the riverbank, and Bruno was pretty much just running up and down the bank. And we get close to a pretty busy intersection. On the other side of the intersection, there was a church where someone was cutting the grass. And the person cutting the grass had a hat on that was really bright color. I forget what color it was. It was like orange or yellow. Something that really popped and got Bruno's attention. And Bruno was a little bit ahead of me at this point. And I knew it because Bruno, he was an AM staff, and when they get that tunnel vision, I don't know how you can snap it out, like snap them out of it. But he had that tunnel vision, and I knew what was going to happen, and I had the vision that he was going to go run. He was going to run. He was going to go full speed to get whatever he thought that guy running that lawnmower was. So he took off, boom, hit a car, staggered, and kept going. And I saw the semi truck coming, and I was like, oh God, no. And I remember I closed my eyes and I dropped down almost to my knees, but I was like squatting. And I was like, good Lord, that was it. That's Bruno. I go, he's gone. Well, I got to pick up the body. I open my eyes. I stand up. I look at the underneath the semi truck. There's nothing there. I'm confused. I am so freaking confused at this moment. And I look up at the truck driver, and the truck driver's just looking at me like, and I'm just looking at him like, and then all of a sudden I pan to my right. I see Bruno running full speed right at me. And I'm just like, what in the world is going on? And I pet him. I was like so happy. I was so relieved, but still a little scared. Like, oh man, like what's wrong with him? And then what does he do? He says, forget this. I'm running home as fast as I can. And he took off the opposite direction way faster than I can even keep up with. And I'm running and I'm calling Deborah. I'm like, hey, Bruno just got hit by a truck, a semi freaking truck. And I'm running and I'm trying to get her on the phone to come pick me up or kind of cut Bruno off. And oh my gosh. I took Bruno to the vet just to get him checked out, because like I said, there was only road rash, and then his nails were filed down to nothing. Because what happened was, I don't know exactly what happened. I can only speculate because I closed my eyes. Like I said, I didn't want to witness that horrific. So he must have got hit, dog rolled, I don't know, 30 yards, 50 yards. And Bruno must have tried to grab some traction on the asphalt and just filed his nails all the way down. And crazy. So yeah, road rash, he had no nails. And I was like, we got to take him to the vet just to get checked out, x-ray something. So what happened? Over the years, Bruno was really, you could tell he was aging, but he ate, he played around with Ginger, and he got around as best he could. So I was just hoping, we'll get one more year. We'll get one more season. But that all changed. That first week of December. I forget the medical term, but it's a paralysis of your larynx. Laryngeal paralysis. And it happened twice. Once in front of my wife, and then once in front of me. And he just kept doing his breathing, and it seemed like forever. And eventually he ended up collapsing. Like, I thought that was it right then and there. And but he got out of it for whatever reason, and the vet really didn't have like a specific answer, but it just relaxed. So like I said, it happened in front of my wife. She was alone the first night, Wednesday. Then the next night, I was alone, and it happened in front of me. And hopefully you don't judge us thinking that we're bad parents, but fur parents. But we didn't go to the vet. We didn't go to the vet Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We did go to the vet on Friday. I think it was a little bit of denial for me that something so serious, or at least what looked so serious and looked so horrifying and scary and traumatizing, maybe it was, just a coincidence that it happened 2 nights in a row. Maybe it was just what he ate. I don't know. And that vet was pretty much saying, yeah, it's not a good outlook for that old of a dog with that issue. And the guy was nice about it, compassionate and empathetic as much as he could be. I guess he's seen this how many times, It's just kind of part of the gig, part of the routine. It wasn't until Saturday, the 7th, where I talked to some guys in the fire department, and they were like, suffocation is probably one of the most painful, horrific experiences you can have. I mean, I don't suggest putting a plastic bag over your head, but I mean, geez, it doesn't look like fun in the movies when they do that kind of stuff. So sorry to make this end of the holiday season so darn depressing, but I mean, that's part of the reason why you haven't seen anything from me especially since the beginning of December. November had some issues too, but I'm not going to get involved in that. So hopefully we're off to a better 2020, and I'm going to put a little collage and a little tribute to Bruno because he helped start this page. Got the most hits so far. He's a good friend, a good companion, changed a lot of people's lives, changed their opinions about bully breeds and Amstaffs and pit bulls. So peace. Love you, Bruno.